Hello everyone, Gainer here from Property Made Simple. Welcome back to this channel. And probably by the time this video is published, I think you guys have already heard the news. Government just announced the property cooling measures on 30th of September. And I think probably you guys, I'm not too sure, probably the sellers, the buyers, you guys are probably just not too sure what is the next move that you guys should be taking. And that's why in this video, I'll be probably covering a few main key points. First of all, I'll be talking who are the ones that are affected. Second is, will property prices really drop? And third, what are the better options that you guys can probably take? And from then, hope you guys will probably have a better idea of what is the next move that you can adopt. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in straight away. Okay, so what are the property cooling measures? Now, I'll probably just briefly go through with you guys because I think you guys have already known a lot in the social medias, videos, news articles have already published. But because for this video, I'll just go through this very fast. Now, first of all, TDSR and MSR all remains the same. Now, bank loan interest, if you are taking a loan, now for banks to calculate your loan, initially or previously it was based on 3.5%. Now it raised by another 0.5% to 4%. Okay, and for HDB loan calculations, also the same, from 2.6% now increased to 3%. And HDB loan LTV reduced from 85% to 80%. And this is the killer, right? The next one, this is the killer. Private property homeowners who decides to downgrade to HDB flats, and if they are aged below 55, they will have to have this wait out period of 15 months. So basically, you sell your private properties, you cannot go immediately to buy a HDB flat. You have to wait for 15 months. I just want to summarize this whole entire cooling measures. Two key important things you just have to take note. First thing first, your loan will be reduced, right? Is it a lot? I think it's marginal, right? And that's why government introduced the next one that totally just wants to have a standstill, okay? Which is private property owners, you just have to wait out for 15 months before you can buy a resale flat. So who are the ones that are affected, that are the private property owners between the age gap of or age group between 30 plus to just below 54. If you have not reached 55, you are not affected, because if you are 55, you own a private property, you can downgrade to a HDB flat and it's probably 4-room flat and below, right? So if you are still 54, you are within that group that are impacted. Now, the thing is that why are you impacted? Probably now you have the plans of cashing out for your private property and moving to a HDB flat just for, I'm not too sure, retirement. Or maybe you are in outskirts, like maybe you are staying in Punggol, Woodlands, Sembawang, you own a private property and you just want to change your location to HDB to another place that probably is nearer to your parents, right? And you just want to downgrade to there, but that area that your parents are staying, or your relatives or whoever that is of your convenience, the HDB flats are much more expensive, right? Probably it's $1 million, probably it's $900 over $1,000, and that's why you probably just want to make that switch. You couldn't afford to a private property that's much more expensive at that location. Maybe it's a more central area, and that's why you want to make that shift. Or probably you have more choices at that area as well. So these groups are the ones directly being impacted. Now, the rest, I think it's probably more or less just a little bit of, I'm just on the sideline now because government came out the cooling measures. If I'm a HDB buyer, upgrader, or probably it's my first time to buy a private property, probably I might just be thinking, maybe I'm not in a hurry, I just want to wait out for the few months to see whether if property prices are going to drop, and you will probably just want to, slow things down. So these groups are also affected. And what we are going to think about next is, I want you guys to understand, take a step back, understand the thought process of a buyer and a seller. Now today, if you are a buyer, what would you do, or what would you think when the news is announced? Probably I have a lot of buyers who contacted me and they are thinking, hey Gainer, would the prices drop? So now I can understand that, from them, they will be thinking that, should I wait for a while? before I come into the property market again, right? So this is the thought process if you are a buyer. Now how about a seller? Now if you are a seller, you probably will think there's only two things. First, if you are not in a hurry to sell, you probably just stay put in your price, or you probably don't do anything, right? There is no need for you to drop your price as a seller. The second thing is, unless you have found something that is much more attractive for you to move on, then you will probably drop your price a little bit. So if you're a seller, maybe you also might wait for a while because there's nothing for you to look forward. Because being a seller, you are also a buyer eventually. And that's why, you might be thinking, should I wait as well? So you need to understand the significance of this measure, the 15 months wait out period. Now, if you ask me, government could have just announced the drop in loan, right? But because they realize that this is not significant to slow down the properties, slow down the market. And that's why they decided to put it this last one. People will start to think, buyers will start to think, sellers will start to think. And because there's these different thoughts around, the whole market activity, if I'm not wrong, based on my opinion, my experience, it will really slow down a lot of things. I've already seen sellers pulling out their sale of their property because they want to downgrade to their HDB, and they just felt that, hey, now should I relook at my plans? I will also have seen buyers start to think maybe I should not enter right now, and they also start to pull out their plans. So you can understand the significance of this measure, whereby everyone seems to be waiting. So everyone seems to be waiting or adopting this wait and see approach and wants to see whether next year, how is the market like. So this is what is currently happening right now. What should you do? If you are a buyer, you are a seller, you are watching this video, I'm quite sure you guys probably will be waiting to see what's happening next. Now, but for me, I think what is important is you should now relook your plans. Are there opportunities right now? I have to just tell you that in the property market, there are 3 different segments. Now, the first thing is the resale market. Now, for the resale market, if there's no market activity, you probably will find that it will be a little bit stagnant. Will prices drop? Yes, it may drop. It depends. I don't know how much. But resale will probably drop a little bit more because those owners who bought the private properties, they are the first owner or they are probably the second owner. They bought it much cheaper many years back. And if there's some changes, probably they found that there is another property that they want to buy which makes sense for them, they might drop the price a little bit lower just to cater for this. So if you're looking to resale properties will drop a little bit more. Second is sub-sale segment. For sub-sale segment, basically, if you want to see a significant drop, it wouldn't happen. Why? Because the previous owner has bought it at that certain price. Most of the owners have already benchmarked around that. So that drop wouldn't be a lot. The last is new launches. For new launches, will the prices drop? It really also depends. But basically, being developer, they have strong holding power. If they still have a lot of units to sell, you probably have to wait much longer before they announce something. But if they have the holding power to hold very long, then maybe they might want to hold until things gets better. So first thing first, you have to understand these 3 different segments: resale, sub-sale, and new launch. So what I feel is that do not speculate in the market, just stay calm, because to me, speculation means that you totally ignore the fundamentals of how you want to analyze a property, right? Because when you speculate, you start to wait, you start to think, you start to see how things going on. It's not wrong for you to do that, but I think that there are also some opportunities out there whereby if you do much more analysis, you probably can get something good. I give an example. So my owner owns a 3-bedroom sub-sale unit that's going to TOP soon in the District 19. The size is around 915 square feet. It's a small, compact 3-bedroom. Now, once these cooling measures is announced, there could be a chance whereby the price may not goes up, right? Neither does the sub-sale owners want to sell cheaper. So the price will stay stagnant around there. But for my owner, probably they have already made a little bit of profits and it's time for them to cash out, because in that area, there are quite a number of huge size 3-bedders or 4-bedders. If their prices does drop, it will affect their selling price as well. So it's a good time for them to cash out. And what are the opportunities? they can shift their location to somewhere, probably a sub-sale or probably a new launch, I'm not too sure, to a RCR area, right? RCR area, the two betas are also around 1.3, 1.4. So they are just doing a swap, because if they are selling around 1.4, they can go to a 2 beta at around 1.4 as well, or slightly lower. So it's like a change, a switch in kind of location is a better, but the price is around the same. Now another good opportunity is also if you are a buyer, initially your intention is to sell your current property and buy a bigger size property, but because you are priced out, the properties are just too expensive. Now once this cooling measures is announced, if we are expecting the price to drop a little bit. Now what you can do is, you probably may not need such a big space. You can split your name, one for own stay, which you can just downsize to a 3 beta, a cheaper one, and you can have another one more name to tap onto the opportunity if the prices does drop. So you have the flexibility in there for you to understand when or the timing you can, you know, enter in the market as well, because you have freed up one name, right? So this is also an option for you. Ultimately, I just want to share this very important thing. Now, if you buy or invest in a fundamentally sound property, now regardless of whether the market is high or low, you are rest assured that prices of your property will definitely increase and surpass its previous high. Now this is important, and that's why analysis of all the properties before you buy is important. Don't really need to speculate. You just have to take down, this is the best time for you to analyze which are the properties that you should park your money in before you make that decision. Hope you guys benefit from what I've shared, especially my perspective and my opinions. Gainer from Property Made Simple. Please remember to help me like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.